everyone! In the past few months I have created several YouTube videos that you can find in my channel about a Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, but I'm getting a lot of questions about how you can verily start the application and some questions about uploading the documents and things. So I created this video to help you step by step through the process to complete your application from zero. So if it's useful for you, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave me a comment below if you have any questions. I'm leaving you the link of the application in the description of this video. I hope you like it. Let's get started. If you want to apply to Stipendium Hungaricum, let's go to Google and then you type Stipendium Hungaricum Scholarship, apply online or apply now. And then you choose the first option that appears. You make sure to say apply.stipendiumhungaricum.hu. You're asked if you are a citizenship from Hungary, in this case no. And you have to complete where are you from, which is your country. Now you can start looking for programs that you like. In this case, I'll start my application from zero, so I will pretend to apply for international relations. So in this field, I'll type that. International relations. Perfect, and then I search for it, and in this case I'm looking for a master's degree program. If you want to apply for a bachelor's degree program, of course you can select that option, but in my case I'll go for a master's. I don't need each year that appears in the database, but I'll leave the option just like that. And now it appears a lot of options here. So different universities in Hungary that I can apply for, and I'm gonna look through it. I have heard about Corvinus University, for example, that is very famous here in Hungary because it's very good university. So if I like to apply for this program in this university, I recommend to explore a little bit their website. I can get to know the program better, even the professors, the subjects, the curriculum. Everything about the program you will find in the website. So I recommend you to explore a little bit the options that you have. This is a major that you can find in a lot of universities here in Hungary. For example, if I want biomedical engineering, which is my actual major, I just type it and the same big range of options appear. In this case, I'll open one of the universities, University of Page, and you go directly to the website. The same, you explore the program, explore the curriculum, the subjects, and you can find about the professors, the schedules, everything there. So I highly recommend you to, before you start the application, to explore and verify which is a program that adjusts better to your needs and to your. In this case, this program appears in several universities in Hungary as well. So you have quite big range of options. And I think you have to spend like several hours looking for it, because even though the program is similar and many universities offer it, you have to decide which one is the best for you, normally based on the curriculum that they offer. And normally here in Hungary the master's degree are 2 years, so it doesn't change. So you can choose according to the city that you want to live in and your preferences. So take your time in this exploring time that you have before you apply, before you start your application. And for example, the other one that I was explaining is international relations. They offer it in University of Page, also in Corvinus University. And these two universities are very good here in Hungary, very known even here in Europe. So I will look forward and apply in these two universities, but today I'll apply just for one so you can see the process, and then you can move forward and apply for the second one whenever you have the chance. So I want to apply now, and they're asking for an account, and I'm making this like I'm a new applicant, so I'm going to put that I'm a new applicant, and they're asking for my email address, so I'll complete this field with my email. And then I can register in this way. Then they had sent me a code to my email, so I have to check my Gmail and see if they send me a link or something to verify my new account in the apply system for a stipendium. So I'll open my Gmail, and yep, I have received an email for Dream Apply, and I click to register. Yes, that's simple. Now my registration is done, and I can start filling my data here. So they're asking for my full name, type it, and also my password. Make sure you remember your password, because you have to check later if you have been selected for an interview or for the scholarship. I want to say my password here, so don't forget it. So now it's time to start completing your data, and this is a long process, I have to tell you that, because there are several fields that you have to complete. In this case, I'll go little by little with you, filling the whole application, but if you have already completed this in your application, just move forward until the part that you are interested in. So I agree with the politics, especially about my data, that they can use it, and I put continue. So I recommend you to read this part about the priorities, because they explain important information about what you have to do in this application, and they explain that you can apply to 2 programs in the same university or 2 different programs in 2 universities. And something that I have to mention is that even though you apply for 2 different programs, you have to select one as your favorite, as your best preference. And that one you put first, and then you put the less favorite that you have in the second. Because that is very important. Even though if you are selected and you are accepted for the 2 universities or for the 2 programs, of course you have to study just one program, and if your preference is the first one, Stipendium Hungaricum will ask you to sign up for the first one, for your favorite. So make sure you read everything carefully, this part, and then you can start filling your profile. This information is very simple, just your basic data, like your name. You can put your middle name if you want, but basically you have to fill the gaps with a red dot. Right now, even though I'm living in Hungary, I'll fill it with Ecuador because I'm doing this process from zero, as I'm applying from Ecuador for the first time. And here in Hungary, your mother's name is very important for all your documents, doctor appointments, paperwork, everything. They ask for your mother's name. So you have to complete all of it, always. No information from your dad, but your mother. Now you can choose your passport to complete your information. Yeah. Also, make sure that your passport is gonna last at least 2 years, because if it doesn't last at least 2 years in the case of the master's degree program, they are not going to approve your visa in the embassy, so that's important too. Yeah, they are asking the date that your passport expired. So make sure it's gonna last your study program, let's say. You're applying for a bachelor's degree, yeah, it's normal that you have to renovate in some point your passport, but not with a master's, as I mentioned earlier. So I complete my information. As you can see, I don't need my ID card because I already put my passport. And yeah, I will write and select my date of birth. Let's see, perfect. Nice, day and month. And the country I was born in, which is Ecuador. My place of birth, I'll write Quito in this case. And I'll make sure all the mandatory gaps are filled. Then they ask you to upload a picture. So I selected this one in the snow, but make sure you select the professional one. As you can see in the top of the screen, it says the application is filled or the application is saved. So you make sure if you don't complete today all the information, because it's a long process, you have to save the information that you already filled. So you can keep completing about your contact, like your email, your address, house number, everything. If you don't know the postal code, you can just look it in Google, write in the name of your city, and then you can find it. Perfect. Nice. That one is mine, my postal code. And again, my country is Ecuador. It's like you're writing the same and the same and the same, but as I mentioned earlier, this is a long process and it is like that. It is what it is. Then your mobile. Your Skype is very important. If you don't have an Skype account, make sure you create one, because for the interviews, in order to be accepted for the universities, they're gonna ask you for your Skype, and the interview normally is by Skype. Then another email from your, contact information from a parent, spouse, or somebody close to you. So you fill that information too. Perfect, I make sure to complete everything. And then, I have something that I haven't completed. That's why the red announce appear in the top of the screen. Let's see. What was the mistake? Okay, I wrote accidentally the same number that I wrote for myself in the contact person. So make sure you write another phone number. Then I can move forward to the education. And yes, make sure you read it, but basically it's the education you have completed. So in this case, because I'm applying for a master's degree program, I already completed the bachelor's degree program. So I have to complete information about it. Then I have to complete about the language. Make sure your information is already saved. Yes, at the top of the screen it has to appear that it's saved. My native language, of course, is Spanish, so I complete that field. Perfect. I didn't feel anything about my education because I didn't want this video to be longer, but right now I can't move more forward to my language without completing my education, so I'll do it. My bachelor's degree, the program that I took at university already, international relations as well. They asked for the name of the institute that I studied in. In this case, I'm completing the information about university, but of course, if you are applying for a bachelor's degree, you have to complete the information about your high school. Okay? Also, yeah, status of studies finished because I completed that. And you can select also the year that you started your studies or the specific date if you remember, but I'll just put the year. And also the date that you finished, the date of your graduation. You look for it. In this case, in Ecuador it was 5 years, so I'll complete with that. 5 years until 2020. Perfect. And then, yeah, 5 years, the length of the program. And this was a full degree study. They asked about a financial. Yeah, it was self-financed. Again, where was it? In Ecuador. I think I mentioned that I'm from Ecuador like 10 times. But it's okay. This is the place that you put the address or the location of the university. The language was in Spanish, so I complete with it. Spanish, perfect. Then you have to complete your GPA. So it's basically the grade that you graduated with. It is different in every country, and in fact in Ecuador is 10 the maximum that you can get. So in this case I'll complete with it, and 9.1, and yeah, the average grade possible that you can get is 10. In some countries is 4. Here in Hungary is with 5 the maximum that you can get, so it just depends. Then they are asking about if you have had any Hungarian education or any career here in Hungary before you. So you read carefully these questions and you have to answer according to your situation, of course. In this case, no. Perfect. We're moving forward. You will see that you will have completed this faster than you expected. I'll read this. This is a question about if you don't gain the scholarship, will you study in Hungary with your own money? So I will say no. Okay, now I can move forward to the languages. So native language is Spanish. And if I would like to perform my studies in Hungarian, no, I will not. It's a very complicated language. As I mentioned in another video, you will have to learn some basic Hungarian in your first year of the master's program or even in the bachelor's programs. Yeah, so 2 levels of Hungarian. You can get the basic to survive. Then the employment. Okay, you read carefully and they are asking just for your experience. If you don't have any experience like working, so you don't complete this field, but normally try to complete this. Even if you have completed an internship in a company or any experience that you had from university, you can complete it there. So you put the employer or the name of the company here in this gap. Also, you complete the type of business, the position in the company, also the date that you started and the date that you finished working there, and what was your responsibility there. If you have more experiences, you can plus insert new block here and you keep writing about your experience. This is very important because for the scholarship they are going to take into consideration your expertise and the different experiences that you have gained in the field. And then activities. This is very important to me because they are asking for important activities about like voluntary work, extracurricular activities. So even if you didn't get paid, but you have had experiences from college, from even working in your community, from different programs, or volunteering in different organizations, you have to talk about these experiences because this is very important for the scholarship. They are going to select you if you have good experiences in whatever field you are involved. So if these experiences are related to you, I'm gonna write them. For example, I wrote several of my volunteer experiences that I had in my country and outside of my country. And then they asked me in the interview about these experiences and the knowledge that I've gotten from them. So it was very important. They know that it's very important to have them. And if you think that you don't have any, just think carefully because maybe you have, maybe even you were a president of your class or something. That's also, if it's related to the field that you're gonna study in, so you write it down. So recommend that. If you want to put, this is very important. If you want to put the most recently experience, you can put it in the top. But if you accidentally wrote it in the bottom, you can move down or move up your experiences. So I recommend in your employment and in these activities, put it in order the most recently at first. That's gonna be easier for the selector committee to see what have been going on in your life in these past years. This is about your residences. So if you lived in another country for more than 3 months and you have these experiences before, you have to insert here a new blog and complete information about it. If you haven't lived your country for more than 3 months, you had just vacation with your family, couple weeks, so you don't include that experiences. See, if you want to include, just you complete this little block. Now this is the most important part for the application, about the motivation letter. They're giving you some bullet points that you can take into consideration about writing, like why you want to study this program, why you want these objectives to be accomplished through this study program, why are you be the perfect fit, and this kind of questions. It's very long because I think I took 3 months writing my own motivation letter, because I wrote a draft and then another draft and then another paragraphs, and I'm gonna talk more detail about this motivation letter in another video, but basically this is the most important document in your application. The selector committee is going to consider your motivations to study in this university, in this city, in this program. And they are gonna see if they have to select you, if you are the perfect fit for the program. Something to take into consideration also is the number of characters. It's not a number of words, but the characters. It has to be between 3,000 and 3,500 characters. So make sure you are into this range. Something that I hardly recommend is don't type your motivation letter directly in this gap, but you can write in a Word document, and once you think that it's finished, you can send it to, I don't know, somebody who already won a scholarship, or somebody who is really good in English, even, because sometimes we make mistakes, and because we are reading over and over and correcting and writing again and again, we don't see those mistakes. But if somebody read it for the first time, they're gonna see those mistakes and they are going to let you know. I don't recommend you to show these motivation letters to somebody in your family, because they love you so much, and I don't know why, but they don't see your mistakes easily. They think that you are great and that you deserve to study in Europe, to study in Hungary. So they are very kind, and they don't normally let you know about your mistakes. But somebody from outside, from another point of view, they are gonna let you know about what you can do better in this motivation letter. As I say, I will write a little bit more about this topic, but for this time, just make sure to reach the number of characters that they are asking for. And well, right now it's time to fill and to update the documents. So they are asking for several documents, which are the motivation letter, the proof of language. In this case, you can show a TOEFL certificate, IELTS, Cambridge, or whatever other certificate, but as far as I know, you have to have a proficiency of language at least with B2. That's why in the beginning of the video I talked about an academy called Cultural Language English Academy. We help students all over the world to improve their English and to reach this B2 level that they need in order to apply for the scholarship and study in different universities. You have to also upload the school certificates, like your graduation certificate and the transcript or records, which are literally your grades from all your years of study. For example, if you studied in the high school, is all the grades that you have got in all those years in high school. The same with a bachelor's, all your grades from the subjects you took at your bachelor's program. So it says a transcript of records because you have to have the translation. And normally in my case, for the University of Page, they asked me for the legal translation of these documents. So also this is a service that we can provide as Cultural Language English Academy. We can provide from a certified translation of these documents, so you can just upload it to the system. And they ask also for a copy of the passport, of course. So these are the main documents for almost all the programs that I've seen in the Stipendium Hungaricum programs. So make sure to complete all the list that they are asking for. And this is all information about medical students, so it's not my case, but I can upload my documents here. You have different formats that you can do it. I normally use PDF. This is a checklist, and this is where you upload your documents. I can start with a proof of language proficiency. And then move forward with the rest. If you haven't completed one of these documents, I think you can complete the proof of foreign language proficiency even after the 16th of January that you have to submit your application. I'm not sure if the rest of the documents you can submit later, but I'm sure that the one about the language, yes, you can submit later. And then this part is the application from the sending partner. This is, in my case, the Senacit, which is in Ecuador, an institution which helps students with the application format or the application process. And they have a deal or a covenant with Stipendium Hungaricum, so I just wrote that I accept their terms. If you have a medical condition or a disability or something important about your health, here is the place that you can write about it. In my case, I will just rather than healthy or just leave it empty because I don't have anything to write about it. And here it is. How did you find about the Stipendium Hungaricum program? I found from my YouTube channel. Well, you found from my YouTube channel, some of you. So you're gonna write that. Or you found in the website directly or from a friend that told you about it, you can write that as well. And as you see, we're reaching the end of your application. Was it fun? Maybe not, but we have to do it. Okay, Now I can put save as a draft. Just because I haven't completed all the documents, but let me see, I can just submit. Now, look, the red part, it says that the application is not completed yet. What's the problem? In the profile, a red mark appeared, so let's see what happened. Okay, I have to select in which framework I'm applying. So in this case, I'm applying with from Ecuador or SEGIP. As I understand, SEGIP is like a deal that Ecuador has now to send the students to study the bachelor's degree here in Hungary. So because I'm applying for the master's degree program, I'll just put Ecuador and submit. Again, there is an error. What is the error? Of course, the motivation letter. I didn't feel anything because I'm just showing you the process. As I told you, I'm gonna create another YouTube video about the motivation letter, explaining the details and how to do it, and even with my example about how I did it. But in this case, I just copy and paste the motivation letter that I have about another program. It's not about this Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, but I'll just paste it here just for the example. But an error is still appearing, and it's because I haven't completed the documentation. So the same, because this is just an example, I'll just take a document. I think this is my CV, and I'll complete with this. An error is still appearing, but it's because I haven't completed the whole list of documents. So I'm gonna do the same. I will move forward and just complete this list of documents really quick with a document that I have, just for the example. Okay, even I think I'll just upload the same document just to show you how the list can be completed and how I can submit finally my application. Remember that you don't have to do all this process in just one day. You can save your application and your data as draft and then come back another day and finish it, because as I told you, the motivation letter can take weeks and even months to be completed. So take your time. You have a couple weeks now until the 16th of January. Remember that is because, according to the European time, so if you are in another part of the world, don't think that is gonna close the application and to the hour that you think. I think it's 12 p.m. on the 16th of January that the application closes. So make sure that it's according to this time hour in Hungary. For that, you just have to check in Google the hour here in Hungary. So yeah, as I told you, this one is the one that you can even explain that you are gonna get your language proficiency in a couple of months, or you can just type eventually and upload it later. But the rest of the documents you have to upload. There are exceptions, of course. I think another exception is about your college certificate. For example, if you are gonna be graduated soon, but you haven't received this certification and the application is gonna close, in 2 weeks. So you can type that you are gonna receive it and you compromise yourself to upload this certification eventually. But you have to upload a certified or a paper from the university telling that you are about to complete your studies and get your legal certificate, and that this is a provisional certificate. So you can also do that. Remember, you have several options here. For example, I have not yet uploaded. I will have a certificate yet. Yeah, I uploaded a declaration in the case that I just mentioned if you haven't received your certificate from college yet. Or I have uploaded the original in the case that your certificate is directly in English. Of course, you don't need a translation if it's already in English, because some universities provide it in English already and they don't need to translate anything. But in most cases, for example, in Latin America, the universities don't provide the certificates and the records in English, so we can provide a legal translation, a certified translation. See? This yellow sign appeared because I just uploaded the original. My TOEFL is in English already, but in order to appear a check, I put I uploaded the original and the translation. Just don't see the yellow mark, but the check mark. And I do the same with the rest of the documents I uploaded, and I mark that I have uploaded the original and the translation. And in this part, I have to select the way that I am applying, in this case with Senacid, which is the partner from a stipendium in Ecuador. And yeah, I have everything checked and I can submit. Perfect. The application was successfully submitted and congratulations, you have finished finally to complete your Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship application, and you made it. Now you have finished everything. It was a long process, as I told you since the beginning. I hope you enjoyed this process with me, and I wish you the best in your application, that you can succeed and you can be called for the interview from the universities, and then you can pass the interviews. If you have trouble with it, remember I have a YouTube video talking about how to prepare for your interviews, and I wish you to be accepted for the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship and to live your dreams and to live in Hungary. And then you can succeed in all your goals and your dreams. Now that you can finish, don't worry if you missed anything. Maybe you forgot to complete something, or you have any experience that you want to add. Don't worry about that, because you can still modify your application until the 16th of January or until the application closes. So if you want to modify even your motivation letter, you can do it. That is all that you have to do. I know it was so long, and probably you will take longer if you don't have ready your documents, but little by little you can complete it all, I promise. So this was all for today. Remember to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you!